few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia. Not Al-Qaeda, you said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back because, the Cold War's been over for 20 years.
Blue Monday, how I hate Blue Monday.
That was the anointed one, President Obama, during the debates with Romney, sneering at Romney, saying Russia was a threat to America. Welcome to the program. I'm not going to do much politics because it's too painful, frankly. Today is an anniversary show, my 20th anniversary, 20 years in radio. We're Friday. Today and the rest of the week, we're going to be celebrating with special guests, book giveaways to people who get on the air, all the news of the day mixed in with, I think, some of the most remarkable historic sound bites in my radio career, some of which you heard if you've been listening on and off for these years, and some of which you'll say, oh my God, he said that 20 years ago? I don't believe it. Well, so that's what we're going to be doing, including Mama Savage, liberals in Asian restaurants, the first demo, the Virgin demo I used to get on the air, where I said I'm to the right of Russia and to the left of God. Remember that one? 20 years ago. And now Michael Savage from high atop the Empire State Building in New York City to the right of Russia and to the left of God. That's what I said when I was trying to get a job in radio. We have a lot of good stuff. And I want to ask you something. In the news department, do you believe the Malaysian Prime Minister? Do you believe it's true? 18 days later, suddenly there's definitive proof that the plane, it went up, it went down, it went off course, and then it crashed way off course. Do you believe a word that he said? I mean, I'm skeptical. I don't believe him. I don't believe him because Malaysia is a corrupt government, far more corrupt than Obama, to give you some idea. And I have been there, and I've studied Malaysia. It's as about a corrupt kleptocracy as you can get. Why should I believe the Malaysian Prime Minister? Now, maybe it's true. Maybe they'll fish out some debris, and I'll say, all right, well, why should I buy it hook, line, and sinker? I'm not Wolf Blitzer. I'm not Andrea Mitchell. I don't work for the U.S. government. Okay, so you can answer that if you want. But here's something more interesting to me for the callers out there. By the way, you're not listening to this on a filling in your head. This is not your imagination. I know many of you think you're imagining the show, but it's actually a live man doing a live radio show out of San Francisco. It's called The Savage Nation. It's the number one listened to show on WABC in New York and many other stations across the country. I mention New York because if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. And they have some titans on WABC, but I beat them all in the last book in terms of overall audience on the show. It's a big deal to me. Since this is the last stop in my radio career, I may as well tell you about it. Who you're going to hear it from? You're going to hear it from the New York Times. What is your first memory of the Savage Nation? How old were you? Who were you with? Now, many of you are going to call and tell me that you listened with your father and he's dead. I know that, and I'm expecting it, and that's fine. And don't hold your emotions back. Many of you are grown people now who started listening to this show when you were children. It's hard for me to believe. I think I've accounted for 2 marriages in my career, maybe more, of people who said, oh, you're a Savage Nation listener? Wow. It's like a big secret. What is your first memory of Michael Savage's Savage Nation, and how old were you? Where was it? Let's go to the first caller today. Jesse in Fort Lauderdale on WFTL. Go ahead. What was your first memory?
Yeah, back when you used to play the Cuban music, and my son just told me since you became the new time spot, he says, oh, yeah, that's when we used to have to listen to him at night. Now we get to listen to him when I pick him up from school and take him home. When you mean right now, when I'm in Florida, 3 to 6? Yeah, when you're on from 3 to 6, I pick him up.
Well, how old is your son?
He's 18 now. But
so he was a baby when you first started listening to the show?
Yes.
Unbelievable. Well, do you like the new time slot?
Oh, the new time slot, he loves that because he gets to listen to you.
That's beautiful. Well, everyone who we select on the air today gets a free copy of one of my books. So stay on the line. Doug will take your email address, and we'll move on to the next caller. The phone number is 855-400-7282. Here's a funny one coming up. Remember, this is my 20th anniversary, so please indulge me. I'm not going to have another one. I only get one 20th anniversary in radio. I know many of you don't believe it.